Everyone, welcome back to another video of Salesforce Makes Sense. This is Himanshu and we are going to continue our Apex curriculum. We started off by introducing you to a class in Apex, right? And we started writing a debug statement and we understood what are statements, what are blocks, right? We understood what is API version settings. And now we'll jump into our first concept, that is access modifiers. So what we'll do is in the upcoming few videos, we'll try to break down a lot of small things, right? Things that are, very basic, but they're important to know. And then that would build up your foundation. And then we'll start using, those foundation and those basic learning blocks into actually doing use cases. Okay. So the very first concept that comes into the picture is access modifiers, which is nothing but this declaration that you see, right? So a lot of you might think, why is this written in a way it is written here, right? This is a class definition. Why do you say public, then class, and then the class name? So that's pretty much the syntax. But what does this mean? 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 A lot of this will be discussed in the upcoming videos. All right, I'll get rid of the previous stuff here, and let's get rid of the method as well, or let it be, and let's create a new class altogether. So how do you create a new class? You just say file new Apex class. Okay, and I'll just call it access modifiers. So if you notice, as soon as a class is created, it comes with this particular stub, right? This code is written for you. What is this particular thing? This is the name of the class. All right, and a class has to be given the class keyword for the system to understand that it is a class, right? Now the thing we are going to discuss here is this particular keyword that you see. It's called public, right? So what is the meaning of public? What does it really do, and how does it really define the system, and how does it ensure that the system understands what are we trying to say? That's our entire concept of access modifiers. Okay, now before jumping into the actual access modifiers, let me give you an example. Let's say you have your daily journal, your diary, wherein you write your daily thoughts right at the end of the day, right? And then let's say you have a to-do list or a bulletin board that is pasted somewhere in your home where you keep all your trackers and all your certifications, all your awards, or all your to-do list and all your plans, right? And the third thing is a website that you have, right? Which is available for everyone to access, correct? So if I were to talk about myself, I have a journal, but I cannot show it to you, right? I have a journal wherein I write my thoughts, my notes, right? And then I have a bulletin board, which is, let's say, my plans, like which video do I release when, what content do I have to create for you, what kind of assignments do I have to give. That's on the bulletin board. On there's a whiteboard in my right in front of me right now, and that has all that details. And then thirdly, I have a website, and this website is something I can show to you. Correct? So if I just simply go to salesforcemakessense.com, this is my website, and this is available for any and everyone to access. Correct? So this is the website right here. Now understand this. Access modifiers are also basically keywords that drive and define the access or the amount of access you are supposed to get from a particular class, method, variable, or anything. Right now we are just talking on the class level. When I say class level, I mean this particular level, this particular level. So if this was a website, it would be global. Why? Because it's accessible to any and everyone, right? But if it was a to-do list or a bulletin board, who can see it? It can only be seen by either you or your family members who live in the house. So in that case, if this was a website, this would be global. All right. If this was a bulletin board or a whiteboard that has all your details, this would be public. Now, public means accessible within the application and namespace. So understand this with reference to Salesforce. I'm giving you a real life example so that the concept is ingrained, right? Website available to everyone, to the entire org. That means accessible anywhere and everywhere. That is the global access modifier. What does that mean? If this particular class is defined as global, this particular class is available for anyone and everyone to use if they want to use it. Okay, if multiple applications can use it, any namespace can use it, and it can be used in the entire org. All right, and it can be used across namespaces. All right, namespaces are used when you have a package, right? When you have managed packages or when you have unlocked packages, you might have a namespace appended to it. So global means it can be used across namespaces, or it can be used anywhere. It can be used and accessible by the entire org. But let's say if this was a bulletin board or your whiteboard, this is only available within the application and the namespace. So this is only available to people who live in your house. Your household members can see your to-do list, your whiteboard, and the contents of the whiteboard, and you can see it. So that's the public. That's one level down from global. Okay. And if it was your personal diary or your journal, who can see it? Only you can see it, right? But you don't get private on the top level. You cannot define a class like this. So if I save it, private class journal, I think I'll have to call it access modifiers because the name of the file is access modifiers. Let me just save it now. So you see, it is saying that the top level type must have to be public or global visibility. See, it's telling you that it should be visible. So let me just keep the name access modifier. Let me start with global, save. Will it let me save it? Yes, it should let me save it. Saved up fine, no errors. What if I try to save it as public, accessible within the application? Will it let me save it? Yes, it should let me save it, right? But if I define something like private and I try to save it, does the system let you create a private class? It throws you an error. The error we just saw, right? This should come up again. So it's saying that the top level type must have public or global visibility. What does that tell you? That tells you that the top level class or the class that you have defined here can only be global or public. Now that makes sense, right? If you have a diary and you want to expose it, you cannot expose it, right? Why do you have to expose it? Because it's your own diary, it's your own journal. There's no point of declaring it to the world that I have a personal journal if you want to keep it private, correct? So that's the whole concept. The top level class or the outer class, when you're defining it, if you are creating it to be private, who will use it? No one, right? So then what's the purpose of defining the class? Make sense? That's why the top level class can only be public or global. All right. Now, where can private come into picture? It can come into picture if you want to define another class inside your parent class. So let's say you want to define a class that's my private info. Let's say this is your class. Save. All right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create another class inside my parent class. Now my parent class is either global or public based on the definition. And what I can do is I can define my inner class as private. See, I can define it as private. So when I define an inner class as private, it will let me define it as private. Now, what does that mean? Who will be able to access this particular class or its related information? This particular class here. Only the access modifiers class can access this particular private class because it is defined within this particular block. It's inside the scope of this particular class. So if you have a class that's defined within a public class and it is defined as private, you can access it. That class can access it. But can someone outside this class access it from here? No, not allowed. Okay. So if I save it here, I will be able to use my private info in this class. Wherever I want to use inside this particular scope, I can. But if I go to this class and I want to access the my private info class here, it cannot be accessed. Why? It is private. It is not visible. Make sense? So that's your private access modifier. All right. Now global is accessible to the entire org and accessible everywhere. Public is accessible within the application and namespace. So it's for one namespace. Right now we don't have any namespace. That's the default namespace we are using, Salesforce namespace. There's no namespace. All right. And if you have a inner class or maybe any code that is within a section that you want to define private, that there you have to use the access modifier as private. All right. It is accessible only within the section of the code and the default access for inner classes is private. Meaning, if I don't even call it private explicitly and just save it, right? This means that this particular class is private. It is not public. All right, but I will be able to save it. So the scope of this particular class is private. It is only accessible to this parent class. That's it. All right, but if you want to define this class as public, you can do it. Save. So a a public class can have another public class inside it. That's not a problem. That can be done. Which means now this my private info becomes available to other Apex classes also, right? Because it is defined public. So it is available to the within the application and the namespace. All right. Now, can I create a global class inside a public class? So my top level class is public, right? And my inner class is global. Now, how is this possible? You cannot do something like this, right? Why? Because you're kind of you're on the public level and you're trying to define something that's on the global level. You cannot do that. So you can only narrow it down. You cannot open it up. If you have to open it up on this level, your top level class should also be global. Only then it will allow, which is why you see this error. Enclosing type must be declared as global. So if you want your inner class to be a global class, it should be the parent class should also be a global class. Make sense? So that's the meaning of this access modifier, and that is how it is defined. We'll see how it comes into picture and where and how can we use it and how do you define it with actual use cases. But right now just focus on the word, just focus on the keyword that we have written, right? And where and which one do you have to use and what all options are available. So if in an interview you are asked about access modifiers, you know that okay, there's global, there's public, and there's private, and you understand the difference. Okay, and we've only talked on the class level. These same access modifiers are also available on method level and variable level. We'll talk about that later. Okay, now classes can also be defined as with sharing, without sharing, but we'll worry about that later. So you must have seen at a lot of places public with sharing, save. So your class is defined like this, or your class is defined without sharing, right? You've seen this keywords. So these are also available, but we'll talk about this later. Not of our concern immediately right now. We'll get rid of it. We'll just leave it as is. So now you understand the first line of every Apex class. It has to have a Apex modifier. It has to have the keyword class. This is a keyword, okay? And then you have the name of the class. So the name of the class always should be sentence cased, right? We talked about this. A and M is capital, and always keep it meaningful. Don't keep it like test one, right? So that's just for practice, but when you're doing actual implementation, try to name your classes, variables, methods as good as you can, as memorable as they can be. All right, so that was about access modifiers. Now what I want you to do is I want you to create three Apex classes. All right, and the first Apex class will be called available to all. The second Apex class will be called available to some, and the third Apex class will be called just available. Try to save these classes, and the first one should be of global access, the second one should be of public access, and the third one should be of no access, should not have any access modifier keyword. Okay, so try to create these three different Apex classes with this name and try to save it, and let me know in the comment section what was your result and how did it go. Were you able to save all of them? Were you able to create all of them? Any errors you found or any mistake you made, just let me know. Okay, that's it for this particular assignment.